while I sketch this little hopper. So let's just turn the page and get started. It says it has an excellent feed, but there's no picture. Okay, there it goes. There it goes. I was worried. It said it was an excellent feed, but it was not going. Anyway, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 5:30 in the morning on a Thursday morning. 5:30 in the morning on Thursday mornings is when I like to do a little thing where I pull a toy from the toy box, a random object from the Random Object Randomogrifier, if you will, and I like to draw it and talk about it. We actually do this every day at 5:30 a.m. Texas time, so you may want to set your notification so you don't miss any of those. And today, our random object from the Random Object Randomogrifier is a lion's head rabbit. I think this is one of those rich people pets that us poor people don't think about, have never heard about. This is another one of those, like that dwarf rabbit we drew the other day, that has to have constant care, constant medical attention, because it's another brachycephalic face, smashed up flat face, where their teeth don't align, and they constantly have to go get their teeth filed. So you spend $200 buying a rabbit, and then you have to spend $200 every couple of weeks to have their teeth filed. Just so they don't bite their tongue and kill themselves. What happens is they bite their tongue and it gets sore, and so they don't eat. And their stomach gut is such that if they don't eat frequently enough, they go into stasis. And once their stomach goes into stasis, they just die within 24 to 48 hours. They just die. Now, I don't know if the vets can reboot their stomach. I honestly don't know. I've never heard of an animal biting their tongue and dying, but apparently this one does. Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Pamela. Have you ever had a lion's head rabbit as a pet? Heard of a lion's head rabbit? Seen a lion's head rabbit? If you've ever had or seen or one of these things as a pet, I would like to know what your experience with it is. The mane is a dominant trait. They have a 2 to 3 inch mane that grows around their head, and it is a dominant trait, so that if they interbreed with other species of rabbits, if they mix with other breeds of rabbits, the mane will express. But if they have one parent with the mane gene, the mane will express, and by the time they reach maturity, it will have thinned out and maybe have gone away. But if they have two parents with the mane gene, then they will keep their mane for life.
Pamela says they never ever even heard of one. The most exotic rabbit they ever had was about years.
Yeah, that's what I alluded to the other day when we did the Netherland dwarf. You know, Grandpa ran that feed store, and about the only exotic rabbit we ever heard of was the lops. And I don't know if you could call that exotic. So yeah, this is new to me. I bought this set from Toy Manny, and they have several different breeds of rabbits. So it's pretty neat. It's very detailed. The only thing I don't like about them is you have to go onto their website to identify their toys. Unlike Safari that just prints the name on the toy itself. But otherwise, it's a very detailed toy. It's has everything you need to see what the animal is like. I'm sorry, what were you saying, Mom?
I didn't say.
Oh.
Sorry.
I swore I heard you say something.
No.
Did I say hi to Pamela and Rick?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Are you testing me today?
Worried about me? You worry about yourself.
I need to say that one. We have other pets that aren't exotic, if you will, and we spend hundreds of dollars on them, but not every 2 weeks.
I would not buy a pet that requires hundreds of dollars every couple of weeks.
No, we have that. This would have to be a person. Yeah.
But you know,
Yes, Adele.
good morning, Adele. But you know, the other side of that is I have other things that I do. I mean, the reason I wouldn't do it is because I have other things that I do that I spend that money on. Is why I don't have that money to begin with. You know, I just started calculating last night my studio budget. You know, I spend probably $2,000 a year on software.
You know, you need to keep quiet.
Oh, hey, my software expenses don't come anywhere near my wife's Scout habit.
That's what your dad said about myself.
My software expenses don't even touch my wife's scouting habit. But it's the pug face that causes them problems. Just like pug dogs. Brachycephalic. However the kids are saying that these days. The hair around their face, you have to keep it trimmed away from their face, or the hair will get wrapped up in their teeth and they will eat it. And they will get hairballs in their gut that they can't digest because they're herbivores. And so then they'll have to have that dissolved. So you have to keep the hair trimmed back. You have to brush their hair because they have long silky hair over their whole body. And you have to keep it brushed and washed because it'll get matted. And they're prone to skin infections, especially around their hindquarters and around their face and around their ears. Good morning, Cassandra.
She said that she didn't know better if she would have had this guy was in Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Right? He looks mean.
And then
He looks like with sharp, pointy teeth.
her husband sometimes says she spends too much on coloring book supplies, and then he just dropped a few hundred on protein powder, protein bars.
Yes, because food and nutrition compares to hobbies. My wife can't say anything about me spending money on art supplies because she ate last week. I'm sorry. It's not nice. That's not nice.
Animals are hobby costs nothing more than everything.
You know, hey Bethany, it's the there's a cost to not doing your hobby. There's a mental anguish and emotional cost to not doing the hobby. And our partners would not want us to be emotionally anguished. Right?
Sure. Sure. Just a good thing I pay the bills.
That's right. Nobody needs to see that checkbook but me.
My dad says art supplies is still cheaper than therapy.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I was getting at. There's a cost to not doing it. That's exactly what I was getting at. There's a hidden cost to not doing it, and the therapy is way more expensive than the art supplies. Do. Can't talk arting. This is my favorite part of the process. This is the part of the process that gives the whole thing shape and form. Up until then, it just looks like lines on the page. But once you start doing this, it starts looking like a dimensional object. Where were we? They're not very big. They're about the size of a. They're. Let's see. Let me. I want to make sure I get this right because I know they're about the size of a sea isopod. So about 8 to 10 inches, 3.75 pounds, or roughly the size of a sea isopod. A giant sea isopod. Anything but metric. A large house cat, a small house cat. 3 pounds is a small house cat.
Rick says he drew it this morning. This looks grumpy.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's a morning rabbit.
Probably needs a fritter.
Probably needs a fritter, yeah. Fritters solve a lot of problems. Was it Adele that said it looks like something from Monty Python?
Yeah.
Looks like something that would attack Cassandra. Looks like something that would attack President Carter. All right, let me dry this real quick. Oh, goodness. It is, believe it or not, hotly disputed where these things originated from. There are some Belgian breeders that take credit that take credit for them, that say that they accidentally arose from breeding dwarf Angoras. There's some belief that they strove for it, but that they were trying to do something else and they accidentally got it. This is a relatively new breed of rabbit. We're talking 1960s. It got recognized by the European rabbit organizations in the 1960s, but it didn't get recognized in the United States until the 1990s. And even then, it wasn't recognized as a full breed until the 2000s. So even though it was introduced in the 1990s, the American, was it American Rabbit Breeders Association, didn't recognize it as a breed until the 2000s. What?
I said it doesn't look like a rabbit.
It doesn't look like a rabbit? I bet it looks more like a rabbit in person.
Maybe so. I need to think of it again.
It has, it's bred to look like a baby. It's bred to stay looking like a baby its whole life. So it's got tiny ears, got a little round face, tiny body. They're meant to look infantile, juvenile their whole lives. So it has lots of juvenile features.
It's not something I would choose for a pet.
Really?
Yeah. Adele says, not gonna lie, it looks like a Pokemon at this stage.
I think that about a lot of these animals, especially considering that they're toys and they're trying to express the most lion's head aspect of this thing. They want you to see the mane, they want you to see the size and the flat face, and they're not trying to make it look like, they're not, what am I trying to say? How they want you to recognize that this one is a dwarf, and that this one is a lion's mane dwarf rabbit. And so they tend to exaggerate the features that make it into that. But I don't think this one is all that exaggerated.
Adele says, "Oh, he's cute anyway."
He is cute.
Yeah.
He is cute.
Talking about cute, my legs feel numb, but I cannot move because my mini hamster is asleep in my lap.
You know, you have to be careful. Cats falling asleep in your lap. That's lots of people never recover from that. You end up starving to death because you can't get up. You have to call in sick to work. Hey, I can't come into work today. My cat's asleep in my lap. Well, can't you just move him? I could, but he's just so stinking cute. My current manager has a love for cats. I could probably call her and say that and get away with that. Hey, I can't come to work today. My cat fell asleep in my lap. Okay, take all the time you need. She has a severe love for cats and animals.
That's a good thing she has an emergency button. It activates the auto feeder and cat is gone in a second.
That's right. You know what? If you had one of them smart can openers where you could tap a button on your phone and make your can opener activate, that would have done it for all of our cats. Let me dry this real quick. Did anybody notice that the vertical was stuck on the image the whole time and didn't show any of the Bethany was there, stopped in, and it showed nothing. It's been stuck on the rabbit the whole time. I just now noticed it. I just now, while the hairdryer was going, I managed to get the vertical to show, and we're done. I did not notice that. I'm sorry, if Bethany, if you're still watching, I am sorry. Anybody who managed to watch the vertical this morning, I appreciate you sticking around if you did. But I didn't notice it. I am so sorry. Nah, you didn't. Nobody's blaming you. No, what you're supposed to do is talk to me and be my mom. This is a fun thing. You're doing a pretty good job of being a mom, so.
That gets through the day.
Yeah.
Abdul wants to know what the plans are this evening.
You know, I'm torn because I was going through my coloring book and I have a Morphos butterfly in there and the swallowtail butterfly, and because of the state of the butterflies in the morning drawings, you know, the wings are all wrinkled up and you can't really tell they're butterflies. And I thought maybe I could do a Ulysses butterfly, which is very similar to the Morphos butterfly, the blue and the black, and it's really pretty. And I wondered about doing that but you know, even if I did, I couldn't put it in the coloring book because it would not be the right style. And then I was researching. we've got Ren Fair coming up here in a couple of months, and it's time to start getting the costumes ideas ready for Ren Fair. And I saw a guy with a bear cloak, like a bearskin cloak. Now it was fake bearskin. It wasn't real bearskin. What is today? Today's 21st. It was fake bearskin. It wasn't real bearskin, but it still looked like he was wearing a bearskin cloak because, you know, you're supposed to look medieval. And I thought that looks pretty cool. Where can I get a bearskin cloak? And then I start looking through Amazon, and I come up with a Winnie the Pooh onesie. They have an adult Winnie the Pooh onesie, and I think it would be hilarious to take a Winnie the Pooh onesie and turn it into a bearskin cloak to wear to Ren Fair. But I was looking in the process. I was looking at a bunch of different bears, and there was really cute baby bear pictures. And so I'm kind of torn. I don't know if I want to do a bear or if I want to do a Ulysses butterfly. And the fact that we did a butterfly just a couple of weeks ago, maybe I'll do both. Maybe I'll do a butterfly on a bear's nose or something. That sounds like fun. Let's lean towards that. Anyway, there's my rabbit, my lion head rabbit compared to the photograph. Let's see what it looks like from my perspective. The evening show, you know, is whimsy. It's whatever strikes my fancy at the time, unless I have something planned, like, you know, we planned your bug for a couple of weeks. So there it is from my perspective. So that's what I did today. Tomorrow, what do we have tomorrow? Oh, the suspense. Oh, the suspense. What could it be? What could it be? What could it be? Oh, the suspense. That should go to... Why didn't that go to my face? There we go. Okay. My vertical is not acting right today. The vertical video is not acting right today. So tomorrow we have, doesn't matter, a bingo ball. And that bingo ball number was 104. And that corresponds to, dun dun dun, a saw. We'll talk about how the difference between a rip saw and a crosscut saw, and we'll talk about the musical properties and how to properly play a saw tomorrow morning at 5:30 in the morning, Texas time, while we sketch this little hand tool. We do this every day at 5:30 a.m. Texas time, so you may want to set your notification bell so you don't miss that. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really do look for what is this? What is striking your fancy for tonight's show? Oh, Rick asked again after Pamela. So anyway, I do look forward to this every day. This is my favorite part of the day when I get to art with my besties, and I get to do it again tonight at 7 o'clock Texas time. So I'm looking forward to that also. Be sure and tune in tomorrow, same Artistic Biker time, same Artistic Biker channel. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Adele, Cassandra, Rick, Pamela, Bethany on the vertical side for as long as you could stand just looking at the same picture because the video didn't change like it was supposed to. But thank you guys so much for joining me. We dance until somebody says they see me dancing, because that means that the lag is caught up with the stream and I won't get cut off mid-sentence. Gives you a chance to click the clicky thingies this way if you're on the horizontal, or this way if you're on the vertical, so you can watch another fantastic video just like this. But the most important thing, Rick says that hand tool is evil. The most important thing